What's up, everybody? St. R. Edwards here. Welcome back to Swift Coding for Everyone. Go ahead and open up your Triggered Segues project. And what we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to build our segues programmatically. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get rid of all of this stuff that you see currently in Interface Builder. We're going to get rid of this button. We're going to get rid of this text field. And we're going to get rid of these buttons as well on the orange and the purple views as well. So we're going to get rid of all that stuff. The only connection that we really want to keep is the navigation controller. We're going to keep that one. So we're going to get rid of everything else. So this is what we're going to do. So I am on Interface Builder. As you can see, I'm on main.storyboard. And I have right now the first view controller highlighted. And I'm over in the connections panel, the connections inspector. And what you want to make sure you do is before you start deleting any code, it's always good to make sure that you delete any of your outlets and actions, because if you don't, when you run your app, you can receive errors. Not can, you will receive errors. So let's go ahead and get rid of those first. So I'm going to hit the X on the text field first. I'm going to break that connection from the storyboard to the view controller. I'm going to break that one. I'm going to keep the view is fine. I'm going to keep the navigation controller, right? So that one's fine. Over to the orange scene, I want to make sure I break the show segue. So I'm going to take that out, hit the X on that. And as you can see, the navigation controller went away for the orange and the purple views because it's no longer connected. And then for this purple one, I'm going to do the same thing. Over in the connections inspector, I'm going to break the segue from the orange to the purple. All right, got that done. And then I want to go into view controller. The view controller file, we know we erased the text field one on main.storyboard, so we got rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this code for the prepare for segue. I'll get rid of that. And the unwind one, we want to make sure we get rid of that too. So I'm going to go back to main.storyboard. And I highlighted the button itself on the purple view controller for the dismiss button for the unwind. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the X to break that connection. And now we can just take away all the buttons. So we'll delete this button. And we'll delete this button as well. And we'll delete this text field. And so now, and we'll also delete the button for that one as well. So now we have basically a blank canvas. And we can reorganize our views, because what we want to do is basically put a UI switch on our blue view. And when this switch is on, we want it to be able to trigger the segues. And so we're going to have two buttons on here as well. We're going to have a button that says go to orange VC or go to orange. And then we're going to have another button that says go to purple. And so this is what we're going to do. So we're going to rearrange this a little bit. So I'm going to put this a little bit above the blue one. Actually, you know what? I like it how it is. I'll just keep it like this. I'll keep it this way. All right, so the first thing we want to do is, like I said, we're going to add the buttons. So we're going to say type button over in the objects library, drag it onto the blue. It doesn't have to be centered or nothing like that, but I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit just so we can fit the text in there. And I'm going to say, for this one, I'm going to say go to orange. And then instead of dragging another button, I'm just going to hold option and drag over and then release. And then, so we got another button on there like that. And then I'm just going to say go to purple. Come on now. Go to purple. All right. And then I'm going to drag a UI switch over, and I'll just split it and do that. All right. And so now we can add our connections. So let's go ahead and open up our assistant editor. And this is what we'll do. Well, actually, this is what we need to do. So we're going to drag over from our go to orange button to our, and then our go to purple button. But this is how we're going to do it. So instead of doing it by the button themselves, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the view controllers themselves. So we're going to go from the top, and this very very top button over here to the very left side of the top panel, which is the view controller, represents the view controller. We're going to click and drag. So control, click and drag from there to the orange, and then release. And we're going to hit show. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing for purple. So we're going to go from blue to purple. So control, click and drag from the orange circle, and then go to the purple, release, and then hit show as well. And as you can see, both of them say go to blue. All right, now for each of these segues, we need to give them names. We need to give them identifiers so we can reference them in code. So this first one for us, going from blue to orange, or whatever color it may be in your case. So with the segue highlighted, you can see that it's blue, from blue to orange, as you can see. In the inspectors panel here where it says identifier, we want to give this property a name. We want to say orange. So we'll just say orange. Okay. And then the same thing for the purple one. We want to give this a name. So I'll just say purple. And you'll see why here in a minute. We just need to reference this in code. All right, so we got our segues named. Now what we want to do is we want to open up our assistant editor and connect all of our elements in the storyboard or in the view controller. So I'm going to hit the intertwined circles for assistant editor. I'm going to make some space here at the top. And I want to do the switch first. So I'm going to control, click, and drag from the switch. And I'll just name it segue switch. And we'll leave the type to UI switch, and outlet can stay the same. And then we're going to create actions. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the orange one. I'm going to control, click, and drag, go to the bottom, release, go to action, and then I'm going to just say go to orange. And we'll leave it the type for any, and touch up inside is fine. So we'll keep it like that and just hit connect. And then for the purple one, the same thing. Control, click, and drag, and we're going to go below the orange. Release, change from outlet to action, and we're going to say go to purple. And then hit connect. All right, we can close out of that by hitting the standard editor. And then now we just need to hook it up in code. So let's do this. So go back to the view controller itself. Let's make some space. All right, so like I said, we want to make sure that when the segue switch is on, that the segues are able to be used, that segues are able to be triggered. But when it's off, we don't want it to do anything. So we're going to just use a simple if statement for both of these. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to say if segue switch dot is on. That's what we want to do. Then we just want to say perform segue with identifier. And remember, our identifier for the orange one was just orange, right? So we'll just hit our quotation marks because it's a string. So we'll just hit one of them, one set, and it'll do both of them for us. And just type in orange. And then for sender, we can just leave that at nil. All right, and we'll do the same thing for the purple one. So we'll go if segue dot switch is on, perform segue. with identifier, and we name this one purple. Simple as that. Same thing here, nil, hit enter. All right, now let's build and run, and let's see if this worked out. Let's see if our building our segues programmatically worked. All right, let's see if this works. So we have our go to orange on, or we have our switch is on, it's green. So let's do this. So let's hit the orange one, see if it worked. Wow, good, it worked. Then let's go back, and now let's go to purple. Good, that worked too. Now let's try to change this from green to off to where it shows white, and let's see if the segues will be triggered. Hopefully not. Good, it didn't work. All right, guys. Well, it all worked out. So you just learned how to create segues programmatically. This is one way you could do it. Definitely make sure you do the lab. I'm going to post the videos on the lab as well, but try to do it yourself. You know, you guys have come a long way, and I know you guys can do it. But if not, your boy's going to post a video for you. This has been St. R. Edwards with Swift Coding for Everyone. Thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you practice, 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 practice.
But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice?
Yes, we're talking about practice. All right, you guys take care.